Secure attachment. Bill and Billy are two people in a romantic relationship. Their relationship is built on love, trust, and commitment to each other. Both are happy, supportive, and comfortable in their relationship. They enjoy spending time with each other, but also enjoy spending time apart. Bill and Billy are open and honest with each other. They are able to communicate clearly and work together to resolve any conflicts or disagreements. When Bill texts Billy that he has to work late, there's no anxiety, no second guessing, no spiral of doubt. She trusts him completely. When the unavoidable conflict or disagreement arises, they don't avoid it. They work together and listen to understand each other's perspective to ultimately figure it out together, leading to strengthening the bond and relationship. This is secure attachment. It is the foundation of healthy relationships and the one we all aspire to. It develops in childhood when caregivers were a consistent source of love and support. They were patient. They were calm. They were attentive and responsive. They provided a feeling of comfort and safety, and an open space where you learned it was okay to explore and express yourself. A space where your thoughts and emotions were welcomed with open arms of warmth, love, and tenderness. When little Bill fell and scraped his knee, his mom didn't just put on a Band-Aid. She held him, acknowledged his pain, and helped him feel better. When he was excited about his drawing, she didn't dismiss it. She celebrated with him. At its core, secure attachment is this beautiful, dynamic balance. It's the trust to be vulnerable, the strength to be independent, and the wisdom to communicate with love. Anxious attachment. Meet Sarah and Sam. Sarah loves Sam deeply, but she's constantly worried about their relationship. When Sam doesn't text back within an hour, Sarah's mind races. Sarah often asks Sam questions. Even when everything is fine, she's scanning for signs that he might leave. When Sam texts that he has to work late, Sarah immediately thinks the worst. Her heart is racing. Her stomach is in knots. When they have even small disagreements, Sarah becomes overwhelmed with emotion. This is anxious attachment. It develops when caregivers were inconsistent. Sometimes they were loving and attentive. Other times they were distracted, overwhelmed, or unavailable. Maybe mom was dealing with depression, or dad was stressed from work, and sometimes they snapped. Little Sarah learned that love was unpredictable. When she cried, sometimes mom would comfort her immediately. Other times mom would ignore her completely. When she was excited to show her artwork, sometimes dad would celebrate with her, other times he'd barely look up. So Sarah's young mind created a survival strategy, a coping mechanism. But this strategy that kept her safe as a child is now creating the very abandonment she fears impacting her adult relationships. Avoidant attachment. Now meet Alex and Ashley. Alex is independent, self-reliant, and values his freedom. Ashley tries to have a conversation about their relationship, but Alex feels suffocated and immediately changes the subject. When Ashley gets emotional, maybe she's had a bad day and wants comfort, Alex feels awkward and uncomfortable. He'll walk away or look for an escape instead of offering the emotional support she needs. When they disagree about something, Alex shuts down. His nervous system tells him to escape, so he goes silent or defers. This is avoidant attachment. It often develops in childhood when caregivers were emotionally unavailable or dismissive of emotions, so they learn not to rely on others to care for their emotional needs. Little Alex learned that emotions were uncomfortable, messy, and unwelcome. When he was scared and ran to his parents, they offered no comfort. When he was excited and wanted to share an accomplishment, they might have been too busy or completely dismissed. So Alex's young mind developed a different survival strategy: to be fiercely independent and self-reliant, to avoid confrontation and conflicts, and to withdraw if someone gets too close. The need for space and independence is valid, and this strategy protected him. But now he's having difficulties letting others in, and it's preventing him from forming the deep connection he actually craves. Fearful attachment. Now imagine being caught in the most exhausting internal battle where you desperately crave close, intimate relationships, but simultaneously feel terrified of them. It's like being emotionally whiplashed between, I love you so much, you mean everything to me, one day, and I think we need to take a break. This is moving way too fast. Your relationship feels like an emotional roller coaster that never stops spinning. When that working late text comes in, your brain goes through multiple reactions in just minutes. First, there's panic. They're pulling away from me. Then anger. They're probably lying about where they are. Then immediate self-protection mode. I need to guard myself before they hurt me. You might type out a loving, supportive response, delete it completely, then send something cold and distant instead, because you literally cannot decide which emotional response is the right one. During any kind of disagreement, you become completely emotionally overwhelmed, swinging from crying to yelling to completely shutting down, sometimes all within the same conversation. It's like experiencing every possible emotional reaction simultaneously because you genuinely cannot figure out whether this person is safe or dangerous to your heart. This is fearful avoidant attachment, also called disorganized attachment, and it develops when caregivers were both a source of comfort and a source of fear. Maybe there was addiction, mental illness, or trauma in the family where the exact person who was supposed to keep you safe was also the person who caused you the most pain and confusion. These kids experienced something absolutely devastating. The person they needed most was also the person they feared most. Maybe dad was incredibly loving and fun when sober, but became terrifying and unpredictable when drunk. Maybe mom was warm, caring, and nurturing, but had explosive anger episodes that came out of nowhere. Their young minds simply could not make sense of this impossible, contradictory situation. They needed love desperately, but love felt dangerous and threatening. So they created this survival strategy that was full of contradictions. I need you, but you might destroy me. Come close, but not too close. I love you, but I have to protect myself from you. And this internal war between needing connection and fearing being hurt becomes absolutely exhausting for everyone involved. Here's the good news. Attachment styles are not permanent sentences. They're adaptations. Brilliant survival strategies your young mind created to navigate your early environment. They served you then, but they might be limiting you now. The beautiful truth is that through awareness, healthy relationships, and sometimes therapy, you can develop what psychologists call earned secure attachment. If you're anxious, you can learn to self-soothe and trust that love doesn't require constant proof. If you're avoidant, you can learn that vulnerability is strength and that letting others in doesn't diminish your independence. If you're fearful avoidant, you can learn that not all relationships are dangerous and that you deserve love that feels safe. The goal isn't to become a different person. It's to expand your range of responses, to have more choices in how you love and how you connect. Understanding your attachment style isn't about labeling yourself or making excuses. It's about compassion for yourself and for others, recognizing that everyone is doing their best with the tools they were given, and that person who seems needy might just be trying to ensure they're loved, while that person who seems cold might just be protecting themselves from hurt. Your attachment style is your origin story, not your destiny. And every single day you get to choose how you want to show up in your relationships, deciding whether you'll be ruled by your fears or guided by your values and the vision you have for the love you actually want. And the most beautiful relationships happen when two people understand their patterns and choose to grow together, recognizing their triggers and working through them as a team rather than letting old wounds control their present connection.